You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Black and White Network supporters, make sure you check out the Black and White Network merchandise store. Link in the description. Use promo code USA First, all one word. USA First, all one word. 25% off now. I'm back. Rudriance for Black and White Sports. We're going to talk about Novak Djokovic. As you know, he is not vaccinated. He is not being allowed to play in the U.S. Open. He wasn't allowed to play in the Australian Open. It's utterly ridiculous that he is not allowed to come into this country for the U.S. Open, play in this tournament. And yesterday, Fox News' very own Peter Doocy, and I think most of us are familiar with Peter Doocy and how he famously spars with White House press secretaries, and Karine Jean-Pierre is no exception. And he called out the White House, Joe Biden, on some major hypocrisy involving why isn't Novak Djokovic playing in the U.S. Open, can't come into the country, but yet you're literally letting migrants just walk across the border. And she tried to act like, no, that's not what they're doing. Well, I'm here in Texas. I'm here to tell you that's exactly what's happening. They are sauntering their asses as easy as possible just right across the border. I mean, it's not even an issue. Just coming right across the border. And we will watch that little exchange of Peter Doocy calling them out. Okay? But before we get straight to that, I want to point something out here because I find this rather interesting. I find this interesting that Novak can't play because he's not vaccinated, and Moderna is one of the sponsors of the U.S. Open. I mean, I just wanted to point that out, that this is unbelievable. What do American Express, Lavazza, Rolex, JP Morgan, Tiffany & Company, and Moderna all have in common? All of them, and a few others, are official sponsors of the U.S. Open 2022. While coffee producers, financial providers, and jewelers can easily be integrated into the supporter potpourri of tennis Grand Slam tournaments, a pharmaceutical company as a sponsor is suspecting something these days strange, especially if it's one of those who produce Moderna, vaccines, you got it, and have particularly distinguished themselves with the production of the COVID-19 vaccine in the last 20 months. Moderna vaccine, developed by a U.S. company, is the most commonly used vaccine in Western countries, which is, of course, used to fight the Wuhan virus. Isn't that interesting that Novak Djokovic is not being allowed in to the country, cannot play in the U.S. Open, and Moderna is one of the sponsors? How convenient. How convenient this is, isn't it? My God, there's so much bullshit connective tissue. It is unreal. Let's look at this. Don't believe your eyes. White House claims migrants are not just walking across the border. You might be like, why talk about this in a sports video? Because it ties into Novak Djokovic being barred from playing in this tennis tournament. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre insisted on Monday that migrants are not just walking across the border, an event captured nearly daily by press photographers. Every day, Fox News shows the video live of them just sauntering across like nothing's going on. The stunning answer came in response to a question by Fox News' Peter Doocy, who asked why potentially unvaccinated migrants continue to arrive in the U.S., but tennis star Novak Djokovic couldn't compete in the U.S. Open, which kicked off in Flushing Meadows, Queens, today. And I mean, she went into a situation as she started trying to read. I mean, oh God, let's go.
How come migrants are allowed to come into this country unvaccinated, but world-class tennis players are not?
Are you talking about which world-class tennis player?
Novak
stop
Djokovic.
it.
So, as far, Just since you asked about him. So visa records are confidential under U.S. law. Therefore, the U.S. government cannot discuss the details of individual visa cases. Due to privacy reasons, the U.S. government also does not comment on medical information of individual travelers as it relates to the tennis player. Look, the questions regarding vaccination requirements is I defer you to CDC. This is a CDC requirement for foreign nationals. This is something that they decide. This is something that is up to them. The U.S. Open and their participant protocols, I'd refer you to them. They have their own specific protocols as well. So they're two different things.
But how is it two different things? Somebody unvaccinated comes over on a plane. You say that's not okay. Somebody walks into Texas or Arizona unvaccinated. They're allowed to stay. Why?
But that's not how it works. Like we actually no.
I know that that's not what you guys want to happen, but that is what is happening.
But that's not. It's not like somebody walks over and.
Yes, I do.
That's not how.
Exactly what's happening. Thousands of people are walking in a day. Some of them turn themselves over. Some of them are caught. Tens of thousands a week are not. That is what is happening.
I mean, Peter Doocy just lays it out. That is what is happening. That's exactly what's happening. We've got a world-class athlete. I mean, at the peak condition. Tennis players are some of the best conditioned athletes overall in all of sports. They say one tennis match is like running a marathon. He's unvaccinated. He's had COVID multiple times, by the way. But it's not the same thing. You can't play tennis, but these illegals can saunter their butts right across the border. And yeah, I see them on camera every morning, Fox and Friends every morning, coming across. That's exactly what happens. But he can't play in a tournament that just so happens, I mean, just so happens to be sponsored by Moderna. By the way, that's a picture of the Boston Red Sox. That's Fenway Park. Yeah, they're sponsored by Moderna too. Jesus, man. You want to talk about some ancestral bullshit going on involving this country and involving our sports right now. This is it. Trying to tell us there's a difference? What's the difference exactly? Because I'd love to know. They let them in. They're unvaccinated. World-class athlete can't play. That's bullshit. I appreciate Peter Doocy and the fact that how is that different exactly? Yes, we'd love to know. No, okay, it's not different. Gotcha. Not only the unvaccinated, I'll give Greg Abbott credit because at least he's moving them to sanctuary cities where all of a sudden they don't want to be so sanctuary. Oh, nope. Nothing to see here. We don't want them. National emergency. Really? We've got hundreds of thousands of them that's come in down here. Y'all get 1,500 and lose your mind. Okay. Tell me what you think, black and white sports fans. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.